Let's call this meeting to order. Another year. More fun. Did anybody sign up for public comments?
No.
Seeing none, we'll close that part of the meeting. And we have some minutes that didn't get, I guess, approved that we need. I've read them over. I mean, are there any questions on those prior minutes? Anybody has a question about that?
Separate motions or just one for all?
They're minutes. I think one for all is probably fine.
Move to approve?
Second.
Call the roll.
Mr. Hayes?
Aye.
Mr. Hinkle?
Aye.
Ms. Lynn?
Aye.
Mr. Lynch?
Aye.
Mr. Martin?
Aye.
Ms. Smith? Aye. Chair Montgomery?
Aye. Update on grant funding. Who is that? Who's going to speak to that?
Angela will speak to that, since she knows.
I know everybody got funded, right?
Everyone did. Everyone that was approved has received their funds now. That took a while just to get everyone all squared away, but they are good to go.
Any complaints?
None.
All right, that's good.
It was a brave question.
They came in quick. We had a couple that were doing some internal things that took a little bit longer than the others, but everybody's been funded now, so
All right.
everybody's very happy, I think, I hope.
We have the fiscal year 2025 application and funding schedule right here in front of you. Are you going to
I
tell us
can.
about
So
that,
I passed
Angela?
out just that packet of information that has the timeline, has the next year's application with the changes that you all had previously requested, the mid-year report and end-of-year report samples of those. I do have them on a PowerPoint. If anyone wants to go through, we can pull them up, or if you have any questions, concerns, anything to take a look at. I will point out on the timeline, when you look over to the right side and just kind of look for the committee on contributions lines to see where your actions are coming up next with the review. And, we'll start again a schedule very similar to last year with that same October application process. So between now and then, we want to have everything finalized for that application piece. Karen and I went to a training a couple weeks ago and learned a lot. It was a software training by the Found It Grant Software folks. Learned several things that were very helpful. One of the takeaways that we were really proud to learn, we had discussed that budget line in the application, that attachment to help with the budget and the financial pieces, and the software has made some improvements since the previous year where they can really guide us through that piece better. And so that is something we'll follow up before our next meeting. We'll be working with them to get that set up where it is a little bit more, instead of just an attachment, something that can be entered in so that we can hit that consistency piece a little better.
And the video that you sent, I thought it was good.
I did too.
I mean, I thought it was very informative for anybody trying to get any of the grant money. Very professional.
Yep.
Our city TV team is tops for sure. If those of you that haven't seen it yet, I sent it out by email yesterday. If you see anything, it is still in draft form. So if there's any changes, edits that you all see and would like to have before that is put out, we'll be using that to, of course, put it on the website, embedded in that website so it can be accessed easily. I thought they did a great job as well.
What's the target? Put it on the website?
Whenever we're ready to promote the October grant cycle. So probably if we dialed that back by a month and said September 1st.
September 1, yeah.
September 1, what?
To target having it on the website out there and start really putting it out to all the previous applicants.
Okay.
Anyone on our list serve. We'll do that same piece. We'll do press releases very similar to last year as far as, getting the word out and going through that piece.
I know when we had I guess it was our February meeting after we chose everybody, and it seemed like we didn't have a lot of we didn't have any issues with anybody, but now it's been a little bit of time with anybody that didn't get the grant, any input from anybody that, that we might need to improve on. I know we went through some things that we wanted to fix, but I don't know if we've gotten any other feedback since that meeting.
We did that survey, if you remember, we shared the results of that survey back. But no, since then, I think, I think we communicated that so well and so consistently over and over again. I do think also for those applicants that were not funded, they were offered the opportunity to have that review piece, to share that feedback. Some organizations took that opportunity, some did not. But I think like it has been overwhelmingly positive, and people were appreciative of that opportunity and seemed very understanding and cooperative.
Well, good. That's good to know for this group that we got it right. The Board of Trustees annual report. Are they making money? We need to know that.
They are making money. It was provided to you, so if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. But just to recap, the Board of Trustees went through a pretty arduous process to find the right outside Chief Investment Officer, or OCIO is what the terminology that's used. And we had several good applicants, some big names, some names that probably people haven't heard of because they are in this particular space and don't take on public responsibilities. So settled on one out of Chicago, Marquette and Associates, who fortunately had one of their OCIOs who lives here in Middle Tennessee, lives in Hendersonville. And so that was, they turned out to be the top candidate, and he happened to be here, so it was a good thing for us because he's able to come to the meetings and directly and speak to the trust board. They developed a strategy to invest the money over about a 5-6 month period of time, really to kind of get in the market. Dollar cost averaging is the terminology that's usually used to get in the market over time so they can smooth out some of the variabilities that happen in the market. And so everything's now been invested in the investments that they set out in accordance with an investment policy that was developed with our OCIO and the board. And so everything now is in place, and it is earning money. Everybody is kind of holding their breath to see what happens to the market over the next few months. Although we've feel like holding our breaths for about 3 years, waiting for something to happen, but fortunately it hasn't. In the meantime, it's made pretty good profits, and the anticipation is a rate cut, probably at least one this year, and so that'll bring some of the earnings down because it'll be less interest you can get into. But if it helps out the market and that goes up, then maybe we offset some of that. So it's a positive report. It's right where it should be. It's right where we'd expected it to be. It's actually a little bit higher than what we would expected it to be, just given market conditions. So
how much more than last year, speculatively,
from
the amount of money that we had available to allocate?
To project it for this year?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good question. I haven't looked at the projections because it'd be December, so it might be a little hard to speculate going forward. Now, I will say that last year we didn't carry a lot of the fees that we're going to carry this year. So now that we have an OCIO and we have a custodial bank and we have all the things that we need really to operate to go forward, there are some fees in there that weren't in last year. So depending on the earnings, we may see it close to maybe even a little bit less than what we had last year. But if things keep up and the market keeps up, then we'll probably have somewhat close to last year. But it will be mitigated a little bit about the fees that we're now incurring that we haven't incurred in the past.
So was there an additional amount of money invested? Isn't that the case every so often?
We did get that. Yeah, there was another $10 million, I think, in round number, about $10 million that went into the trust, which was the next payment that Middle Tennessee issued. So there's another $10 million in there.
Churn, yeah.
Yeah, so Well, as we get closer, I think last year, we made a projection and gave it to the board in November. Do you remember, Aaron?
We budgeted just a little under 2.1 million as the distribution to general fund for this budget year, but it was based on the December 31 balance.
Okay.
What you mean?
Yeah, I was just trying to think back. I think we gave this committee something to work with in the November timeframe on a projection of what we thought the balance would be on December 31st of last year. That's what I was asking about. So I think that's probably the
I got the
timeframe.
page, just not the date.
It's not dated. Yeah, so
Well,
I can say any date I want.
That's
Novem-
right.
It was in
Sure
November.
can. It sure was.
Yeah. Yeah, when we get closer in there, it's a little bit easier to, it's around end of October, around 1st of November, we can make a projection probably on what it will look like in December 31st.
But we think it's, I mean, we had 364,000 last year, and we're thinking somewhere in that ballpark, or,
Yeah, somewhere in that ballpark, more than likely. Yeah, unless something dramatic happens, either positive or negative with the market, it'd probably be around that mark. And that was pretty good. It was close to what we had done the year before when the city was funding strategic partners, although even in that year before, we had an extraordinary funding because we helped one of our strategic partners move, so we gave an extraordinary amount of funding. So if you take that out, it was substantially more than what we had last year, and then if you keep it in, it was about what we had put out in strategic partnerships for the city the year before. So we kind of run the same course, which we have over several years, kind of sort of kept it as close as we could to what it was. I don't think anybody's going to be surprised if we're around that number again this year. It will go up over time.
oh, yeah.
And there'll be harder decisions to make as it goes up.
Angela, are you anticipating a lot more applicants this year?
I do think there will be more. I don't know that it will be exceptionally more because of how well we have defined the eligibility, because of those, that standing information, and because of that criteria. I do think it will increase, and I think we're more prepared for that than ever before, having gone through that cycle.
Yeah. And that video, I thought was, when it tells them, hey, you have to be located in Murfreesboro, and the things that should, I think that'll help a lot of people that, if they're not part of that, then there's no need of them applying and wasting time.
Right. Agree.
Well, this meeting is pretty quick. We're already to other business. Is there any other business? I mean, this is one of my faster ones.
Yes.
Can't get to the golf course?
Wow.
To get off of it.
I can pick back up.
Let me add then with the information that was passed out with that application. Feel free to follow up anytime if you have questions, comments. We did go through immediately after when we had done feedback at the end to make those suggested changes. I feel really good about what is in front of you, but it is not too late to make additional ones. If anyone wants to read through that more carefully and follow up before the next meeting, they are welcome to.
So when are you anticipating we need another meeting?
Yes, let's look at that. Well, we don't necessarily need to meet to release an advertisement for grant applications,
No.
in my opinion.
Agreed.
Okay.
And we have all our new criteria that we adjusted for this coming year.
We do. The application itself will continue to make a couple of more changes too, but they should not be substantial. One of the things that we learned in the training was how to do to disclose conflict of interest as a part of that software, to give you all the opportunity to do that. So we'll make just a little bit of changes to that.
Okay.
I know since you haven't touched the software for an entire year,
yeah.
bringing it back together and going through a review of what to do.
think that'd be great.
Kind of point out some of those changes and make sure that you understand that. I think
Okay,
would be
so-
a good idea.
Then we should meet prior to the submittals coming live to review the software. Okay?
I would agree with that.
And that would be our next meeting.
So prior to November 15th.
Yeah, sometime in October.
Let's do the end of October.
The application, the hardest part for me was the funding categories, was health-related or community service or, it was just, some of them applied to multiple, and you just had, and like me, I just kind of had to pick what to put it in. And that was the hardest part, I think.
It was.
It's almost wish we didn't have those categories like that, but yeah, I know you have to have it.
Right. I thought it was interesting, though, how individually each one in this group made those choices, and the fact that they were very consistent, spoke well to the process and to this group in really understanding kind of some of the intent behind that.
Yeah, that categorization is embedded in the trust agreement itself.
Yeah.
Which is a legislative act. So we'd have to go back to the General Assembly to make any changes on those.
Right.
Someday, that may be necessary. As the fund grows and you put more out, it may be necessary to see how that's really working over a period of time. But as Angela said, it was very consistent among everyone doing it independently as to which category they thought they fit into.
And so now they're almost pre-categorized unless they apply for something different than what they did. Yeah.
Yes.
Same organization applies for a different purpose.
Like how they asked for $1 million.
Yeah. Good point, though. It is something to struggle with. It creates more of a matrix than a real linear
Yeah.
decision-making. Yeah.
One of the things we did talk about after the grants were given is if the question came up, I think, that if we are inundated with grants, I think most everybody said it was a struggle to read those thoroughly, and there were a lot. And the question could we have a second layer, which is somebody weeds out, if you will, grants that do not fall in the categories, and when we get it, we get the ones that do. And again, we may not, that may not be the case this year, where we might get the same amount or similar amount, but it does concern me that, as this grows, I think Craig even said, as we get more money, it's going to get harder, that more and more people will apply, and that I think somewhere we need to be considering a second layer to this process.
I think that's very wise. I think there's two pieces. One that we have in place now, which is that internal, the due diligence review. I think that's a place where staff can really help in those categories if needed. The other piece to look at future implementation that is pretty common is that letter of intent concept. So basically like a pre-qualifier, which is helpful to you all in reviewing, but also to the applicant so that people that are not going to be considered don't spend a lot of time on the process. They can go through just that shorter version as well. And especially as the funds grow and these become more competitive and are open to larger projects, I do think that's something that we'll keep on the radar in future years, for sure.
And then there's a piece of those organizations that got denied and the reason why. Most likely they won't reapply for the same thing, knowing that they're going to get denied again. And that it kind of helps them to either apply or not apply and change their reasons, you would think.
I thought the evaluation that I guess Karen did, I don't know what staff person did it, but was very helpful. Because if I thought maybe I was off track, I'd go back and look at that. But I also will say, it's all good guidance, but we're the ones that were asked to make go through the process.
Thank you.
What
Mr.
kind-
Chairman, I propose that we meet for a software review meeting. I propose Wednesday, October 23rd, 1:30 at Murfreesboro Airport.
At the 23rd.
In Boston.
And that will.
October is a tough month with fall breaks and stuff.
Hold on, that's why we're here.
Is the 30th good?
The 6th, fall break?
Friday?
Month of the, or the week of the.
Fall break is the week of the 7th.
I'm here, I'm
And some people like.
30th, I'm here.
I'm here.
Only the luckies.
What date?
30th?
30th of
About Friday the
October.
From a
30th.
Tuesday to a Wednesday?
A Wednesday? That's no problem for me.
Well,
Well,
for
That's
ministers.
church.
yeah.
What about, what's the 30th?
It's a Friday. Oh, what are you talking about?
October.
How's
What about the
29th?
29th?
Wrong month. Never mind. I'm in the wrong month. I may
Is there
be
some
here.
reason you jumped to Wednesday?
No,
October,
just because today was a Wednesday.
October
I'm
the
not
what?
available
Today's
29th.
Tuesday.
Can we do the
Today is
29th?
Tuesday, Lo. Not Wednesday.
Tuesday. Okay, thank you.
The
Man,
last
that's going
week
to
in
change my whole
October.
day.
yeah, 28th, 29th, 30th, any of those are fine with me.
I move that we meet the 29th of October
That's perfect.
Yeah,
at 1:30.
I can't meet on the 29th. I'm the problem child.
What about Monday?
Well, hold on. Well, 31st is, what about the 31st of October? Is that Thursday?
Ride my broom over here.
Yeah.
From the golf course?
Get her out.
Can I get a lift?
I'll get her out of the closet.
Let's move up a week to the 22nd, 22nd.
I'll be in, I can't, I'm playing golf in Pinehurst.
Okay, let's move up 15.
Can't. Let's go, I'd rather go later than early. How about
I'd
y'all?
rather be closer to the
Yeah.
time that we're going to be grading them.
November
Just because
5th.
it's going to be super fresh.
Election day, I don't know
Yep.
if that,
That's a big day, yeah.
city, but,
But it'll take you 5 minutes to vote.
okay, no, I'm good. On the 5th?
11/5, I'm good.
I am too.
That'd be a safe space.
Be a what?
Safe space.
I'm good.
There's no voting here, is there?
Is this a
not
certified
voting.
bomb shelter?
November
Make
5th.
it one.
Bonnie, good? Good?
Good.
Good, good, good,
It's going to be
good.
a great
November
day.
5th.
Okay.
Perfect.
1:30?
November 5th, next meeting. Hold on, uh-oh.
We don't have airport. Let's just make sure.
Oh, where's Chad?
Hold on, we can always.
Chad, where you at?
PD. See.
Y'all can meet at First Pres.
Oh, Chad's right here. He's
I mean-
listening in from afar.
Are y'all
good.
working election?
He says we're good. Chad says we're good.
Chad says we're good.
1:30 on the 5th.
1:30.
I'm not
For 5th.
I mean, like,
November 5th.
some of these people may not be working. It's election day, school's out.
I'll be here.
So,
Who can't be here? This is just a software,
better.
this is a software review.
Yeah.
It's not a,
I mean,
The bank's open.
I want to be fair to the people who
Yeah.
have to attend this meeting for their jobs.
well, this, yeah.
We're used to.
Fantastic.
It can take off Wednesday.
Flying right now, because you're the first person that ever thought about that.
Thinking, you ever thought about running?
You're always thinking of others.
Consideration. We're very grateful.
We love you now.
We're not used to consideration.
Okay, so what did that just do to our meeting? Did we keep it?
Yeah.
Okay,
We succeeded.
November 5th, 1:30, right here.
Will you be off that day? I was going to say, if you are.
Me?
No.
I'm off always.
No, it's a work day.
Yeah, well, the
I
5th,
was
no,
going to
we
say,
don't close
get
on,
jump time, overtime.
we don't close on election day. Our elections are done in August.
I've already voted. I voted.
Okay.
Presidential meeting.
I know, but I'm talking about local.
Yes.
Angela, at what point in this schedule of things do we know the actual dollar amount we're shooting for?
Craig, here's
Well, the actual dollar amount, we'll get an estimate in November.
Estimate
Hopefully, the
November.
November 5th, we can probably bring an estimate at that point in time.
Okay.
The actual, we won't know until December, right after December 31st, when we get the first report on what the trust balance is, which will probably be that week, that next week.
Okay.
You got to get market values to settle in.
So we'll be in the same shape we were. We'll have a target to shoot for when we're dividing it up, and that'll get fine-tuned.
Exactly.
Good deal.
I can do that. I mean,
Yeah, I think. The lady this crazy.
Anything else?
No.
Ronnie, how's the banking world?
Hard out there, Carl, it's very hard out there.
Rates coming down anytime soon?
Slowly, very slowly.
All right. Well, that's good. Well,
You got to start lending again.
No,
That's the thing. Get the feds to loosen up.
it's hard to find people who want to borrow at 8.5%, so,
Yeah.
it's tough,
yeah.
even though I remember borrowing at 10.
Not real sympathetic.
No problem. That, I'll call you after we're out of here, so. Sign you up.
Sign me up.
well, I haven't lived in that area. What year was that? 25 years, but my friends who still live
Okay.
there will get that to me. I was 9%.
Yeah. I thought so too, yes. The old days, the dark ages, 12% years.
That's right. Changed, so they dropped.
All right.
Has anybody got anything else
About right time.
before we adjourn? 30-minute meeting.
Doesn't matter with all the refunds.
Is that all right with everybody?
I salute you, sir.
2:30?
Good job.
30 minutes.
Yes.
Election day,
1:30, right?
1:30 or 2:30?
1:30.
1:30.
We'll send out an
It's
invitation.
2:30 Eastern.
That's all that matters.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.